Hi all, welcome to another episode of Broadcast Space. Today we are looking into the life of Larry King. Larry King, born Lawrence Harvey Zeiger, November 19, 1933, is an American television and radio host, whose work has been recognized with awards including 2 Peabodys, an Emmy Award, and 10 Cable Ace Awards. King began as a local Florida journalist and radio interviewer in the 1950s and 1960s and gained prominence beginning in 1978 as host of The Larry King Show, an all-night nationwide call-in radio program heard on the Mutual Broadcasting System. From 1985 to 2010, he hosted the nightly interview television program Larry King Live on CNN. From 2012 until 2020, he hosted Larry King Now on Hulu and RT America. He continues to host Politicking with Larry King, a weekly political talk show which has aired weekly on the same 2 channels since 2013. Early life and education. King was born in Brooklyn, New York, one of 2 kids of Jennie, Gitlitz, a garment worker who was born in Vilnius, Lithuania, and Aaron Zeiger, a restaurant owner and defense plant worker who was born in Kolomia, Austria-Hungary. His parents were Orthodox Jews. King attended Lafayette High School, a public high school in Brooklyn. His father died at 44 of a heart attack which resulted in his wife and 2 sons being supported by welfare. King was greatly affected by his father's death, and he lost interest in school. Career. After graduating high school, Larry worked to help support his mother. From an early age, he desired to work in radio broadcasting. Miami radio and television. A CBS staff announcer, whom King met by chance, suggested he go to Florida, which was a growing media market with openings for inexperienced broadcasters. King went to Miami, and after initial setbacks, he gained his first job in radio. The manager of a small station, WAHR, now WMBM, in Miami Beach, hired him to clean up and perform miscellaneous tasks. When one of the station's announcers abruptly quit, King was put on the air. His first broadcast was on May 1, 1957, working as the disc jockey from 9 a.m. to noon. He also did 2 afternoon newscasts and a sportscast. He was paid $50 a week. He acquired the name Larry King when the general manager, Marshall Simmons, claimed that Zeiger was too ethnic and difficult to remember, so minutes before airtime, Larry chose the surname King, which he got from an advertisement in the Miami Herald for King's Wholesale Liquor. Within 2 years, he legally changed his name to Larry King. He began to conduct interviews on a mid-morning show for WIOD at Pumpernic's restaurant in Miami Beach. He would interview whoever walked in. His first interview was with a waiter at the restaurant. 2 days later, singer Bobby Darin, in Miami for a concert that evening, walked into Pumpernic's having heard King's radio show. Darin became King's first celebrity interview guest. King's Miami radio show brought him local attention. A few years later, in May 1960, he hosted Miami Undercover, airing Sunday nights at 11:30 p.m. on WPST-TV Channel 10, now WPLG. On the show, he moderated debates on important local issues of the day. King credits his success on local television to the assistance of comedian Jackie Gleason, whose national television variety show was being taped in Miami Beach during this time. That show really took off because Gleason came to Miami, King said in a 1996 interview he gave when inducted into the Broadcasters Hall of Fame. He did that show and stayed all night with me. We stayed till 5 in the morning. He didn't like the set, so we broke into the general manager's office and changed the set. Gleason changed the set, he changed the lighting, and he became like a mentor of mine. During this period, WIOD gave King further exposure as a color commentator for the Miami Dolphins of the National Football League during their 1970 season and most of their 1971 season. However, he was dismissed by both WIOD and television station WTVJ as a late-night radio host and sports commentator as of December 20, 1971, when he was arrested after being accused of grand larceny by a former business partner, Louis Wolfson. Other staffers covered the Dolphins' games into their 24-3 loss to Dallas in Super Bowl VI. King also lost his weekly column at the Miami Beach Sun newspaper. The charges were dropped. Eventually, King was rehired by WIOD. For several years during the 1970s, he hosted a sports talk show called Sports a la King that featured guests and callers. National radio, Larry King Show, King interviewing Vladimir Putin. On January 30, 1978, King went national on a nightly Mutual Broadcasting System coast-to-coast broadcast. a.m., the Open Phone America segment began, where he allowed callers to discuss any topic they pleased with him, until the end of the program, when he expressed his own political opinions. Many stations in the Western time zones carried the Open Phone America portion of the show live, followed by the guest interview on tape delay. Some of King's regular callers used pseudonyms or were given nicknames by King, such as the Numbers Guy, the Chair, the Portland Laugher, the Miami Derelict, and the Scandal Scooper. The show was successful, starting with relatively few affiliates and eventually growing to more than 500. King hosted the show until stepping down in 1994. King occasionally entertained the audience by telling amusing stories from his youth or early broadcasting career. For its final year, the show was moved to afternoons. After King stepped down, Mutual gave the afternoon slot to David Brenner, and Mutual's affiliates were given the option of carrying the audio of King's new CNN evening television program. After Westwood One dissolved Mutual in 1999, the radio simulcast of the CNN show continued until December 31, 2009. CNN Larry King Live. King, during a recording of his Larry King Live program at the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia, in 2006. The Larry King Live CNN show began in June 1985, in which King hosted a broad range of guests, from controversial figures of UFO conspiracy theories and alleged psychics, to prominent politicians and leading figures in the entertainment industry, often doing their first or only interview on breaking news stories on his show. After doing his CNN show from 9 to 10 p.m., King then traveled to the studios of the Mutual Broadcasting System to do his radio show, when both shows still aired. Unlike many interviewers, King has a direct, non-confrontational approach. His reputation for asking easy, open-ended questions has made him attractive to important figures who want to state their position while avoiding being challenged on contentious topics. King has said that when interviewing authors, he does not read their books in advance, so that he will not know more than his audience. Throughout his career, King has interviewed many of the leading figures of his time. According to CNN, King has conducted more than 30,000 interviews in his career. King also wrote a regular newspaper column in USA Today for almost 20 years, from shortly after that first national newspaper's debut in Baltimore, Washington in 1982 until September 2001. The column consisted of short plugs, superlatives, and dropped names, but was dropped when the newspaper redesigned its life section. The column was resurrected in blog form in November 2008 and on Twitter in April 2009. Departure. On June 29, 2010, King announced that after 25 years, he would be stepping down from his nightly job hosting Larry King Live. However, he stated that he would remain with CNN to host occasional specials. The announcement came in the wake of speculation that CNN had approached Piers Morgan, the British television personality and journalist, as King's primetime replacement, which was confirmed that September. The final edition of Larry King Live aired on December 16, 2010, after a quarter century. The show concluded with his last thoughts and a thank you to his audience for watching and supporting him over the years. The concluding words of Larry King on the show were, I don't know what to say except to you, my audience, thank you. And instead of goodbye, how about so long? On February 17, 2012, CNN announced that he would no longer host specials. Aura TV. Larry King Now and Politicking with Larry King. In March 2012, King co-founded Aura TV, a production company, with Mexican business magnate Carlos Slim. On January 16, 2013, Aura TV celebrated their 100th episode of Larry King Now. In September 2017, King stated that he had no intention of ever retiring and expects to host his programs until he dies. Aura TV signed a multi-year deal with Hulu to exclusively carry King's new talk-oriented web series, Larry King Now, beginning July 17th. On October 23, 2012, King hosted the third-party presidential debate on Aura TV, featuring Jill Stein, Rocky Anderson, Virgil Goode, and Gary Johnson. In May 2013, the Russian-owned RT America network announced that they struck a deal with Aura TV to host the Larry King Now show on its network. King said in an advertisement on RT America, "I would rather ask questions to people in positions of power, instead of speaking on their behalf." The show continued to be available on Hulu.com and Aura TV. The following month, RT America began airing Larry King's new Thursday evening political talk show Politicking with Larry King, beginning with a discussion between Representative Aaron Schock, Illinois Democratic political strategist Peter Fenn and Politico's deputy managing Other ventures. Larry King remains active as a writer and television personality. King was the moderator of the 6th Kazenergy Eurasian Forum in Astana, Kazakhstan, an annual forum for Kazakhstan's energy sector occurring in October 2011. King guest starred in episodes of Arthur, 30 Rock and Gravity Falls, had cameos in Ghostbusters and V movie, and voiced Doris the Ugly Stepsister in Shrek 2 and its sequels. He also played himself in the People v. O.J. Simpson American Crime Story. King hosted the educational television series In View with Larry King from 2013 to 2015, which was carried on cable television networks including Fox Business Network and Discovery and produced by the Profile Series production company. King made an appearance alongside his wife, Shawn King, on October 8th edition of WWE Monday Night Raw and participated in a segment with The Miz and Kofi Kingston. He had served as Raw's social media ambassador the previous week. King has become a very active user on the social networking site Twitter, where he posts thoughts and comments on a wide variety of subjects. King states, "I love tweeting, I think it's a different world we've entered. When people were calling in, they were calling into the show, and now on Twitter I'm giving out thoughts, opinions. The whole concept has changed." Since 2011, he has also made various TV infomercials, often appearing as a host discussing products like omega-3 fatty acid dietary supplement Omega XL with guests, in an interview style reminiscent of his past TV programs. Charitable works. After his 1987 heart attack, King founded the Larry King Cardiac Foundation, which paid for life-saving cardiac procedures for people who otherwise would not be able to afford them. On August 30, 2010, King served as the host of Habad's 30th Annual To Life Telethon in Los Angeles. He has donated to the Beverly Hills 9/11 Memorial Garden, and his name is on the monument. Controversies. On September 10, 1990, while on the Joan Rivers show, Rivers asked King which contestant in the Miss America pageant was the ugliest. King responded, "Miss Pennsylvania. She was one of the 10 finalists and she did a great ventriloquist bit." The dummy was prettier. King was a judge for the September 8, 1990 pageant. King later sent Miss Pennsylvania, Marla Wynne, a dozen long-stemmed roses and a telegram apologizing for his remarks. In 1997, King was one of 34 celebrities to sign an open letter to then German Chancellor Helmut Kohl, published as a newspaper advertisement in the International Herald Tribune, which protested the treatment of Scientologists in Germany, comparing it to the Nazis' oppression of Jews in the 1930s. Other signatories included Dustin Hoffman and Goldie Hawn. In 2020, it was reported that King had unwittingly been duped into filming a purported interview that was in fact part of a Chinese propaganda campaign against Guo Wenhui, a Chinese dissident in New York City whom the Chinese government seeks to have deported. In 2019, King was asked by Jacoby NIV, a friend who had in the past arranged for King to film various infomercials and promotional videos, to film what King was told would be a conference video. NIV gave King a list of scripted questions to read. These were later edited into a video of comments by Russian journalist Anastasia Dolgova on the topic of Guo Wenhui, whom Dolgova alleged had committed a number of crimes. The video was edited to give the appearance of King and Dolgova having a live conversation, however the questions and answers were recorded separately and King, reading a script, was unaware of her responses, which repeated the line of the Chinese government on the issue. Once King's home production company saw the completed video, they refused to post it online and asked that it not be released. NIV disregarded their objections and released the video independently on YouTube. King's family insisted that it be removed, but once NIV took it down, he found that it had been duplicated and gone viral on Twitter due to the efforts of what ProPublica alleges are Chinese government-run social media accounts. As a result of the incident, King has severed his relationship with NIV, saying he believes NIV took advantage of their friendship. Personal life. King has been married 8 times, to 7 women. He married high school sweetheart Frida Miller in 1952 at age 19. That union ended the following year at the behest of their parents, who reportedly had the marriage annulled. King was later briefly married to Annette Kay, who gave birth to his son, Larry Jr., in November 1961. King did not meet Larry Jr. until the latter was in his 30s. Larry Jr. and his wife, Shannon, have 3 children. In 1961, King married his 3rd wife, Aline Atkins, a Playboy bunny, at one of the magazine's eponymous nightclubs. King adopted Aline's son Andy in 1962. The couple divorced the following year. teacher and production assistant Sharon Lepore. The couple divorced in 1983. King met businesswoman Julie Alexander in 1989 and proposed to her on the couple's first date on August 1, 1989. Alexander became King's sixth wife on October 7, 1989, when the two were married in Washington, D.C. The couple lived in different cities, however, with Alexander in Philadelphia and King in Washington, D.C., where he worked. They separated in 1990 and divorced in 1992. He became engaged to actress Deanna Lund in 1995 after 5 weeks of dating, but they remained unmarried. In 1997, he married his seventh wife, Shawn, born in 1959 as Shawn Engerman, a singer, actress, and TV host. They wed in King's Los Angeles hospital room 3 days before King underwent heart surgery to clear a clogged blood vessel. The couple have 2 children, Chance, born March 1999, and Cannon, born May 2000, both graduates of Beverly Hills High School. He is stepfather to Arena Football League quarterback Danny Southwick. On King and Southwick's 10th anniversary in September 2007, Southwick joked she was the only wife to have lasted into the 2 digits. Larry and Shawn King filed for divorce in 2010 but reconciled, and filed for divorce again on August 20, 2019. King resides in Beverly Hills, California. A lifelong Brooklyn, Los Angeles Dodgers fan, King is frequently seen behind home plate at Dodger games. From his 8 marriages, King has 5 children and 9 grandchildren, as well as 4 great-grandchildren. King is a Jewish agnostic. Heart disease. On February 24, 1987, King suffered a major heart attack and then had successful quintuple bypass surgery. Since then, King has written 2 books about living with heart disease. Mr. King, You're Having a Heart Attack, How a Heart Attack and Bypass Surgery Changed My Life, 1989, was written with New York's Newsday science editor B.D. Collar. Taking on heart disease, famous personalities recall how they triumphed over the nation's #1 killer and how you can, too. 2004, features the experience of various celebrities with cardiovascular disease including Peggy Fleming and Regis Philbin. King related his heart attack experience in a film interview in the 2014 British documentary film The Widowmaker, which discusses cardiology diagnostic tests. King has received annual chest x-rays to monitor his heart condition. During his 2017 examination, doctors discovered a cancerous tumor in his lung. It was successfully removed with surgery. On April 23, 2019, King underwent a scheduled angioplasty and also had stents inserted. It was erroneously reported that he had suffered another heart attack along with heart failure. These claims were later retracted. He returned to politicking with Larry King on August 15, 2019. On November 27, 2019, King revealed he had suffered a stroke and was in a coma for weeks. He later admitted he had contemplated suicide following the stroke, telling Los Angeles television station KTLA, "I thought I was just going to bite the bullet. I didn't want to live this way." Awards and nominations. King has received many broadcasting awards. He won the Peabody Award for Excellence in Broadcasting for both his radio, 1982, and television, 1992, shows. He has also won 10 Cable ACE Awards for Best Interviewer and for Best Talk Show Series. In 1989, King was inducted into the National Radio Hall of Fame, and in 1996 to the Broadcasters Hall of Fame. In 2002, the industry publication Talkers Magazine named King both the 4th greatest radio talk show host of all time and the top television talk show host of all time. In 1994, King received the Scopus Award from the American Friends of Hebrew University. In June 1998, he received an honorary degree from Brooklyn College, City University of New York, for his life achievements. He was given the Golden Mike Award for Lifetime Achievement in January 2008 by the Radio and Television News Association of Southern California. King is an honorary member of the Rotary Club of Beverly Hills. He is also a recipient of the President's Award honoring his impact on media from the Los Angeles Press Club in 2006. King is the first recipient of the Arizona State University Hugh Downs Award for Communication Excellence, presented April 11, 2007, via satellite by Downs himself. King was awarded an honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters by Bradley University, for which he said, "is really a hoot." King has received numerous honorary degrees from institutions as George Washington University, the Columbia School of Medicine, among others. In 2003, King was named as recipient of the Snuff with friends Conan O'Brien, Tyra Banks, Shaquille O'Neal, Seth MacFarlane, Jack Dorsey, Quincy Jones, and Russell Brand, where his intent to do so was reiterated, among other topics that were discussed. King has stated that his interest in cryonics is partly due to not believing in an afterlife or a higher power. King has said that he is an atheist, and that he doubts religious claims, in part because of human suffering from natural disasters like Hurricane Katrina. When asked what he would like his legacy to be, King, referring to himself, said, his life led to more people having information that they didn't have before, and he taught us a lot and we learned a lot and enjoyed it at the same time. He brought a great deal of pride to his business. That's all about Larry King for today. See you all next time with another great personality in the next episode. Thank you for watching.